Good morning. Hi, it's me. It's Kathy from A Typical 60, and I am coming to you from my kitchen today. Today, I am going to talk about my favorite cookbooks, mostly because it's that time of year when I start the plans for all the food and goodies that I will be baking and making and cooking for my family on December 25th. But I want to cover a little bit more than that. Today is Tuesday. This is the day of the week when my French husband will very romantically call me upstairs a little after dinner, and I will hear, Cassie, Cassie, can you please come up here? I need to speak to you right away. And then I will comply and I will go upstairs. And then he will be waiting for me in our bed. And then he will say, Allez, 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 mon amour, mon ange, allez, allez, I need to talk to you. And he's not going to be talking to me about the bouncy bouncy. It's usually on Tuesday night that he starts talking to me about what he wants for dinner for Saturday night. Yes, being married to a Frenchman means that you know how to cook and you know how to make all those delicious French home cooking dishes. He looks forward to a very, very full course meal every Saturday night. We start off with an amuse bouche, which is usually maybe nuts or in some cases, chips or some black olives, which is what I like, just a little bit of that something to eat while we have our aperitifs. Our aperitifs are always Kir Royale, which is champagne and creme de cassis. I love them. They're really good, but I can only have two because I can't hold any kind of liquor because I fall asleep, which he likes because then he's free to have the TV the rest of the night. But anyway, regardless, we usually, after that, we'll usually start off our meal with our starter. It can be anything from a carrot râpé, which is shredded carrots with a vinaigrette, vinaigrette. I can't even pronounce it the right way. Um, or we'll have salmon rillettes, and then it is on to the main plate. He loves his French cooked meals. Um, they're not difficult to make. The French cooking is based on very simple ingredients. Sometimes things can get complex, but having cooked this kind of food for a long time, it's really not that bad. My only complaint is that my favorite dish is chicken with morel mushrooms, and he can't stand mushrooms, so I usually don't get to have that dish. But the one dish that we do agree on, and I know people are going to think this is disgusting, but it's rognon with a mustard sauce, and that's kidneys with a mustard sauce. But you know what? Enough about this. I just want to touch on the cookbooks that I love and the cookbooks that I always use and the cookbooks that I constantly go back to. So I am going to start with this one book that I picked up at Borders. This is going back, oh my God, like 13 years ago when Bonaparte and I started dating, and I thought that maybe it would be a good idea to cook a French meal for him. I don't know if you remember the store Borders, but this book, this is called French, The Secrets of Classic Cooking Made Easy. And oh my God, I feel so, okay, here we go. This is a better form of light. It is by Carol Clemens and Elizabeth Wolfe Cohen. This book was $6. And let me tell you, the book is literally, the book is a mess from being stained. I use it that much. He actually, like my husband, actually says this is hands down the best French cookbook for French home style cooking. And he's not lying. I'm telling you, if you ever get the chance, if you see this anywhere, I know you can get it online, but hold on. I need to change the shade here so you can see. Hold on a sec. Never a dull moment. Okay, now you can see it. Now you can see it much better. Um, Here we go. This book has the greatest recipes and they are so simple. A lot of chicken, the desserts, the quiche recipes, like it's crazy. Like look at this. This is how this is how dirty all the pages are that I have. I mean, it's unbelievable. They're chocolate souffle, the creme caramel, like every single recipe in here is really, really, really great. And it's so simple. I am going to tell anybody if you are interested in French cooking and you want something pretty much authentic and French home style cooking, this is a great, great book. For 13 years, I have still been using this. I have another copy, except it's really small. And with me being blind in one eye, I can't even read the recipes unless I have a magnifying glass. So I still revert back to this book, which is a total mess. And I also want to say, and I know I'm going to get flamed for this, as much as I love watching the reruns of Julia Child on TV, I don't care for her books. Okay, I think they're way too complicated. I think there's way too many steps. This is a better book. Okay, now speaking of French home cooking, there is another book that's really, really good. This is by Ginette Mathieu, and it is called I Know How to Cook. It's basically, everybody says that it's the French version of Joy of Cooking, and I do believe that because I've had three joys of cooking. That's how much I used that book. When I first started cooking, Joy of Cooking was the greatest, greatest book that you could ever have. Currently, I don't have a copy of Joy, but when I was younger, it was the best point of reference. And I still use the Scottish shortbread recipe that the old Joy of Cooking had. I would like to suggest if you know any young man or any young lady that has just recently graduated from college and is going out on their own, buy them the Joy of Cooking because at some point they're not going to be able to afford to go out to dinner all the time and they're going to have to learn to cook. And Joy of Cooking actually speaks to you. Now, if you are interested in French cooking, I Know How to Cook is a great book because all of the recipes are so simple. There's not a lot of ingredients in the recipes. They're not complicated. It's just a very simple, basic cookbook. Okay, so now we're on to that. Now I want to touch base on another book that I've had this book. Oh my God, it's close to 20 years that I've had this cookbook and I love it. I don't know if you know who Chef John Folse is, but this is the guy. To me, he is the greatest American chef. You can have your modern day American chefs. This guy, this is the man. When he had his when he had his restaurant, Lafitte's Landing in Donaldsonville, outside of New Orleans, I had the pleasure of having one of the best meals of my life there. And he's just like a really nice man. I had an issue with one of the recipes a long time ago. Jake was doing my son Jake was doing a class project on Louisiana. So I decided to make pralines. For some reason, I was having a really, really, really hard time with the recipe that Chef John Folse had. And I actually called the restaurant, and his chef got on the phone and literally walked me through it. How could you not love somebody like that? And I don't know if I know in my parts, his show Taste of Louisiana is not on TV anymore. But if you ever get the chance to watch the show Taste of Louisiana, you got to watch this guy because he knows what he's doing and he's a great, great chef. This cookbook has great Cajun and Creole recipes. I don't know if you've ever been to New Orleans or if you are a fan of Cajun food or Creole food, but I am. I love me a good gumbo. I love making a good gumbo. My kids love a good gumbo. As a matter of fact, whenever I made a gumbo and the kids could smell the roux, they'd be like, wow, it smells great in here. It smells like gumbo. And I'm telling you, those recipes are tried and true, and they will always be a part of my regular rotation. Now, one of Chef John Folse's recipes is the crawfish etouffee. This is the best etouffee recipe I've ever had in my life. I love crawfish. If you love those little mud bugs, if you're interested in regional cooking in the United States, I strongly, 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 strongly suggest that you get this book. Every single recipe that I've tried has been fantastic. And he's got great appetizers, which will work well with the coming of Christmas and or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or any holiday that you're going to be celebrating where you're going to have people over. I guarantee, try this book. You will love it. Look for it. I got this a long time ago. I don't know if it's still in print, but I'm sure if you go online, you will be able to find this book. Okay, next we have my favorite. Ina. Oh my God. These are just 4 of the books that I have of hers. I love her. Like, no, I really love her. I am so fangirl. I spent 3 hours on a line for her to autograph a cookbook for me. Yes, I did. What can I say? When I said his real name. When Bonaparte and I return to Paris every year I say the same thing to him. Can we go look for Ina and Jeffrey? I know she has an apartment somewhere near the 6th. Maybe we can go find her. And then my husband gets upset with me because he's like, oh my God, Cassie, we did not come here for you to find an American lady that's on TV. Let's go to the Louvre. Let's go to, I will take you, let's go back to revisit the Rodin Musée. Let's go back to revisit the Musée of Eugène Delacroix. But, oh wait, hold on, Chippy's eating the books. Stop it. Don't eat the books. Don't eat the books. Basically, he doesn't like the fact that I'm so obsessed with Ina Garten that he thinks I'm a stalker. But I'm not a stalker. I just want to hang with her because I love her. Anyway, this Foolproof, this is the book. This is the book that she autographed. Oh my God, I'm so lucky. But she's got a recipe for beef tenderloin that is slow cooked at 275 degrees. I use that recipe every single Christmas. Like her beef recipe is my Christmas dinner. Here it is. Look at that baby. Oh my God. And her other recipes, Her outrageous brownies recipes is a go-to. I have been making that recipe since my kids were in high school because their friends just love those outrageous brownies. Una now makes those outrageous brownies. I can't begin to tell you her dessert, her nougatine dessert is probably the simplest and greatest dessert. Her pound cake, her perfect pound cake dessert, it's perfect. It's perfect. I swear to you, I have never made a recipe from Barefoot Contessa that was a fail. Every single recipe that I have ever made has been a tremendous success. How could you not want to support somebody whose cookbooks are that good? I mean, they're phenomenal. They're phenomenal. I can't say enough. I just I wish I could work for her. You know that? Although she'd probably fire me because I would probably like be all over her. Anyway, here's another cookbook that I like. I don't use it all that often, but a lot of times I use it for reference. I don't know if you've ever watched the TV show America's Test Kitchen. Christopher Kimball is no longer the host, but doesn't matter. The show is still really good. This I got this some years ago, and I did get it on sale. I think I got it at Costco for like 15 bucks or something. But as as is the America's Test Kitchen way, everything is very well thought out, and everything is very well explained, and there's a science to everything. I use this for a lot of reference points, but I will say they have a killer chocolate chip cookie recipe that is stupendous. So I would guarantee like any of the America's Test Kitchen cookbooks are really good for points of reference and for recipes. I really like this book. Now here's another cookbook. I'm on my second copy because I lost the first one. Being a New Yorker, I really get homesick a lot. This book, I don't even know if it's still in print. New York Cookbook by Molly O'Neill. I freaking love this book because it's like a treasure chest of diversity. You will find any kind of recipe that you want in here. There is even a recipe for blackout cake. I don't know if you're a New Yorker, you're definitely familiar with Ebinger's Bakery that made the best to die for chocolate cake on the face of the earth. And there's a dupe for that recipe in here. I live by their macaroni and cheese recipe. The macaroni and cheese recipe in here is great, but there's just lots of different, like there's Italian recipes, Vietnamese recipes, Greek recipes, African recipes. There's any kind of recipe that you want to find in this little book. And it's a fun read because you get to read about the different people, you get to read about the different companies that are in New York. It's just a fun book. Okay, my last favorite book. I definitely need to get another copy of this simply because this book is so like it's so stained and so like let me find a dirty page for you. I mean, when I say this is a dirty book, I don't mean it's dirty like curse word or erotic dirty. I mean it's dirty because I've just spilled so much stuff. Here's a perfect example. Look at this. Peanut butter nougat and blondie pie. Look at how like it's ripped. It's dirty. It's stained because I use this book so much. My kids gave this to me for Christmas. Oh my God. I don't, when did the book come out? Hold on. I will let you know. My kids gave this in 2011. I received this for Christmas. It's like 6 years old. And all 6 years, I have used this book. I am going to tell you right now, Christina Tosi is the greatest American dessert chef on the face of the earth. Um, I don't know if you are familiar with Momofuku Milk Bar, but Momofuku is a brand and a chain of restaurants throughout um, Manhattan and into some of the boroughs. Milk Bar is their dessert place. There's one in Brooklyn. The kids actually got me a cooking class there, which I was so happy because the people at Milk Bar are just, they're so great. They're young, they're vibrant, they have fun. They're just, it's just a great environment to be in. And that environment shines through in this Momofuku Milk Bar cookbook. I make their corn cookies. The corn cookies are a regular in my house. They taste just like Captain Crunch cereal, like crack pie, all of all of the cakes. I mean, I will say a lot of the cakes in this cookbook have very involved steps for the recipes. They're kind of, I don't like to use the word tedious because if I say tedious, that has a negative connotation. And I don't mean for it to be negative at all. But there's just a lot of little steps that add to the success of making these fabulous, fabulous desserts. If you really want to impress, even, I'm telling you, even forego the Kris Kringle cookies and the usual butter cookies that you make with a cookie press for Christmas. Buy this book and take one of her recipes, like the chocolate cookies or the blueberries and cream cookies or the compost cookies, or even in Milk Bar Life, she's got a recipe for chocolate chip cookies. But hold on for 1 second. I'm going to go over to the freezer and I'm going to show you what I did with her cookie dough. Okay, hold on 1 moment. Don't look at my fat ass. I ate so much over Thanksgiving that my ass is the size of a cruise ship. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All of these bags of cookie dough are from Momofuku, actually from Christina Toasty. I have the chocolate chip cookies, chocolate chip cookie dough. I have compost cookie dough, which the compost cookies have butterscotch chips, chocolate chips, graham cracker crumb, potato chips, pretzels, butterscotch chips. I mean, there's everything in that recipe. And here's the beloved cookie dough of the corn cookies. What I do is when I find that I have a little time, instead of sitting on the sofa and watching my hips grow wider while watching trashy TV, since it's the holiday time, I will go into the kitchen, I will get all the ingredients ready, and I will make cookie dough. Then, after the cookie dough hardens in the fridge, Chippy's trying to eat the cookie dough. After the cookie dough hardens in the fridge, I will take a freezer bag and a straw, and I will close the freezer bag until there's just the slightest little opening for the straw, and then I'll suck all the air out. And then I will zip that freezer bag, and then I will take that particular freezer bag and double bag it, and then put it in the freezer. Now, when I want to bake cookies for Christmas, all I have to do is take these out of the freezer, put them on a cookie sheet, and bake. All of the messy work is done. Next week, I am going to start biscotti, but I don't have to freeze the biscotti dough because biscottis keep so well that I can just put them in a bag and hide them so I don't eat them. So that's it for now. I know I rambled on. I can't help it, but if you are thinking about getting a new cookbook, or if you're just looking for a cookbook to read, or if you're interested in other sorts of cuisine to cook, try one of the books that I told you about. They're really good. Or just go online, go to Barnes and Noble and just sit down on the floor and just go through all of the cookbooks there. You're liable to find a very, very entertaining and helpful book. I will put all the information in the description area about the cookbooks. Hopefully you will be able to find the ones that are a little bit old. So happy cooking, happy food prep. The best time of the year is around, and I am off to do a wig review now. Bye. I love you. Oh, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't, and please subscribe. That's the only way I'll find out if you like me, if you really truly like me. So you can subscribe, tell your friends about me, and that's it. Okay? Bye bye. Talk to you later.